We're recapping Manchester United's loss against Newcastle United in the league at home, 2-0 against the Geordies, sir. They came in. We looked a shadow of ourselves. What did you expect? Casemiro and Eriksen and that holding midfield two, enough to get anyone with some early morning heartburn. Happy New Year coming around the corner from the American Devils, but another loss for United, another loss for Ruben Amorim's men. And today could have been worse. Could have been worse. I'll tell you what, the way they started that opening 20 minutes, the way we were defending, I couldn't believe how easy it was for them to score. Never seen anything like, honestly, never seen anything like it. They hooked on the ball and it just, oh yeah, your 5'6" center back, dunkaroo, and then there was another dunkaroo, and then a couple more chances. They hit the posts. They had another one called off. We made one sub in the 33rd minute. Haven't seen that in a minute. And then we got a little bit more of a grip on the game, but at that point it was kind of lost either way. So another frustrating game for United. Another loss for Ruben Amorim, but here we are, sir. We're in hell. It's not going to get any better before it gets worse. We got the Scousers on the weekend. We got Arsenal after that. And guess what? There ain't no easy games in the EPL because we got Southampton. They can beat up this United side, bro. Either way, how we feeling? How we doing?
Break out the hot sauce. Get the salt. Get the pepper. We got L's to eat, and they're coming thick and fast. It is a rough time of year. We are hitting all sorts of new lows at Old Trafford. And it's actually sad. It's really sad as a United fan for me. If you didn't laugh, you'd cry at a certain point. But we expected this, really. I think we expected maybe 4 or 5 in-form Newcastle coming to town. We didn't lay over. The manager did adjust tactics, and it did work. The problem is the attack has got nothing, right? Rashford back on the bench, but the manager... Ooh, this manager. Spite, baby. Any other manager would have put him in when you need a goal. He's like, not on my watch. Rashford is going in January for sure. That is a real tough one. And he is putting his neck out there fighting these fights. And I think today, well, you could get angry and we can rage and we can talk about the shit defending and the shit football and all that bullshit. What I saw today is I see a locker room of players who does not want to be there. Even for some reason, like they showed a camera inside the locker room before the match, and you could just see these guys. It is awkward. They don't want to be there. Everybody knows they're going to go out and get cooked. They're all thinking about themselves. They're calling their agents. They're trying to figure out what the next move is. Casemiro, Eriksen, they're not into Manchester United. They're already moving on. They're cashing that check. Rashford, same thing. Lots of these other players, maybe Delo. Obviously, you got like the Mainers of the world who you don't think that's happening. But this team is like, it's like dead men walking. And everyone wants to go. This manager is extraordinarily demanding, and they're just giving up. These players have given up. They've given up on Manchester United. It's too hard. This manager is too demanding, and they're basically fucking off. And that's what you're seeing on the pitch, and that's why we were so bad. That's why we were literally in a relegation fight, or could seriously be in a relegation fight, is because this manager is basically calling everybody out, and right now they are not having it, and they're not believing in it. But that's what you need to do to then find out who believes and then build from there. And I think that's ultimately what Amorim is doing. It is an internal war at Manchester United. It is Manchester United versus Manchester United. And that's why you're seeing us play such shit football on the pitch. And that, to me, is what I'm seeing. So when it comes to like, oh, we couldn't get up for the Newcastle game. Well, actually, I think this manager is just sorting out who actually wants to be here and who doesn't want to be here. And you're seeing half the team playing and half the other team not. And Manchester United can't win when you don't have a full team on the pitch.
100%. It's a team sport. And I think the biggest takeaway from today is like, I'm all behind Ruben Amorim. I am 100% behind Ruben Amorim. My only concern is if Sir Jim gets itchy trigger finger and just wants to fire him because he wants someone to blame. But he's a man who believes in his principles. I believe in his principles. He changed the match, right? We were like, we could have lost 5-0 in that first half. And Hook and Xerxes and bringing on an extra midfielder had a huge impact. But at the same time, today was sad. Baloney. Poor Baloney. Today was sad for a couple of reasons. It was sad because, like you said, Eriksen and Casemiro, you could tell, bro, they don't want to be there. They're going through the motions. They just like it's. I didn't see the shot of them in the dressing room, but I saw it on the pitch, and you could see it. Like they don't give a shit. That was sad. It was sad seeing some of the fans jeer Xerxes, no matter how bad he was in those opening 34 minutes. I didn't like seeing that, and it was sad to see Rashford on the bench when we're trying to get a goal, and he's sitting there, and he looks like it looks bad. We're in the mud. We're in the fucking mud. United is rock bottom, and we might go further. We might get stomped by Arne Slot's man on the weekend. And, Arsenal might do the same thing, but at this point, we have to figure out who's the real deal, who's willing to work hard for this manager and for this team and willing to put their ego aside and just say, at the end of the day, I'm here to work hard. I'm here to get this team back to the top and do whatever it takes. And it's going to take running through walls and extra shifts. And you know what? Less selfies on the gram, but that's what it's going to take. And you know what I saw today? Ahmad's got it. Kobe showed some fight when he came on. But there's a lot of bluffers in this team, and I'm worried that it's not just a couple players that we have to boot out to kind of change this locker room. You hang on to the Ralph Rangnick line. It's like it maybe is going to take open heart surgery, sir, because this type of culture has become corrosive, has become cancerous, and it's like, how do you get rid of it?
I mean, those are all great points, and what you're seeing ultimately is the reason why there's no new manager bounce is because the players don't even want to get up for the new manager. Like, it's so toxic that they're so over it. They don't even want to play for a demanding manager who has an elite pedigree. Like, it's so sad when you're seeing overpriced players not give a fuck to play for Manchester United because they're only concerned about themselves and the distractions, whether it be on the gram or whatever. But it's a travesty. Manchester United is in the mud. I think Ruben Amorim, you have to root this out branch and stem. And that's ultimately what we're seeing. It's a civil war at Manchester United. It's the bluffers versus the dogs, and the dogs are going to win as long as we back Amorim. It's just going to get really ugly because what you saw it kind of we saw him come in, and then there was some semblance of people trying, and then it got way worse, which means that players were pushing back and Amorim was putting them under the stick, and now you're seeing them kind of almost give up a little bit. And it's this whole jockeying for power between player and manager, and Ineos is not doing a great job. But, sir, we have another game to play. Let's get into a quick PSA for the podcast. Crisis at Manchester United. Nothing's new. We're used to this. My God.
What's
We're bringing
new?
you the best Manchester United news from this side of the pond. This is the worst Manchester United news from this side of the pond, 24/7. But if you want more Manchester United news, check out our YouTube channel, America Devils, on YouTube, over 1,000 subs. Please subscribe. It's free. It helps the algorithm and helps other fans find the channel. Do your part for the Muppet Take. Please check out our YouTube channel. Also, check out our Patreon page. We have over 100 Patreon members. You want to go the extra mile? We do a behind-the-scenes podcast every single month. Great community, tons of other benefits. Please check out our Patreon. And also check out our store. We got some merch. Alex is wearing the hoodie. I got the hat. We got scarves, beanies, pins, stickers, everything you need to be a top Muppet. Please check out AmericanRedDevils.store, AmericanRedDevils.store. Grab some merch. Support the Muppet Take. And also check out our website, AmericanRedDevils.com. And, sir, tell them about iTunes reviews.
iTunes reviews and 5-star reviews of the American Devils podcast. Wherever you listen, it's a great way to support the pod. It helps us get found organically by other top Muppets like yourself. And we're still giving away free merch. All you have to do is write a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify and send a screenshot of that review to AmericanDevils@gmail.com with your mailing address, and I'll personally pick, pack, and ship some free ARD gear. Send it right to your door anywhere in the world, sir. Ooh, Manchester United. They know how to ruin a holiday week. Let's get into this game. Sir, Manchester United 0, Newcastle 2. Let's get into that starting 11. Onana in the back. Back three of DeLitt, Maguire, Martinez. Mazraoui is right wing back. Delo is left wing back. Casemiro and Eriksson the holding two. Diallo, Højlund, Xerxes. Sir, what did you think when you saw this 11?
I didn't like the Xerxes start. I'm not trying to hate on the kid.
Poor guy.
I actually feel bad about the booing. Look, anyone coming from another league, you got to give them a year. I've said that always. Anyone coming from a different league, adjust to the EPL, you got to give him a year. This kid needs a year, but he's clearly not doing what the manager asks of him. I think that's a different criticism because Amorim has struggled with him following instructions because he just likes to play this kind of free-floating 10 way, and I don't think that's what the manager wants. But I was concerned about that. The midfield, too. Ooh, I did not like the Casemiro Eriksson. You could do one or the other, but both of them is a little much. I was a little nervous today. I said, don't get embarrassed. That was my view.
I'll tell you what, the first 20 minutes were embarrassing, but could have been a lot worse over the 90. It was nervy to begin with, sir. We came out and we looked like a shell. We looked like we had nothing. We looked like we had no shot, and it didn't take long. In the 4th minute, Newcastle had their goal, and it didn't look like they had to work very hard to get it.
Lewis Hall, and the header, and the goal. And it has taken precious little time for Alexander Isak to stamp his mark on this game.
Sort of like a couple of weeks ago, I thought our center backs were in good shape. I was like, we got a whole bunch of them. And they all looked a shadow of themselves. I've never seen center back defending in the box in those opening 30 minutes like this goal that they gave up. There was nobody there in between two defenders in Magoo and Martinez, and nobody's home, and it's just unbelievable. I know there's a slight deflection, but it just leaks. It looks unbelievable. Like I can't even. I'm speechless. I got nothing, sir. How do you concede a goal like this?
Look, Martinez looks bad. He's looked bad all year. Talk about a shadow of your former self. I like the guy, but he looks really rough. Like to the point where he should be sat. That's how bad he is. I mean, we've been waiting for him to come back for injury, and I got nothing against him, but he needs a break.
He needs a break, sir. He does look a shadow of himself ever since.
Like Luke Shaw would be better there. He'd probably still let in this goal, but he'd probably look better there.
He's got to pass his beep test, sir. He's got to just make it to match fitness, which is hard for Luke Shaw. And it was piling on, sir, in those early minutes. 14th minute, great chance for Murphy with Maz sleeping back post. He did not look as comfortable in the wingback position as he has in one of the back three positions. And then the 19th minute, so shockingly, this was the last goal of the game, but I did not think it would be the last for Newcastle. But here we are. Alexander Isak, what a striker he is.
There's Masraoui. And the header is emphatic and decisive. And Joelinton doubles Newcastle's lead, and things are already turning pretty sour.
Joelinton, excuse me, I gave credit to the wrong player, sir, but there was a hack in the 1999 FIFA that you could literally send in a ball. You could always bicycle kick it. If you send in the right cross, you could always get a bicycle kick and it would always score you a goal. I felt like the hack was on today because I've never seen defending in the box like this. I've seen us off corners looking at an absolute shadow of what United should be. But today in open play, with balls going to the box, we looked like we had no clue. No clue.
I think it was FIFA 2002. And to date us, yes, we did both play that game in my basement in high school in New Jersey. So we've been in it since the beginning. But horrid goal, horrid performance, and United just shook. I'm speechless.
And it kept
without speech.
Without speech, sir. Oh, sir, I love this pod. I love this team, and they kept coming, sir. Newcastle kept coming, and United had no answers in the 30th minute. Isaac scored again, but it was called offsides. They hit the post in the 31st minute, and then the sub happened. Manu for Xerxes. Yeah, Xerxes wasn't playing well, but I think this was all about getting more control in the midfield because it was a mess, and it did help.
The booze? We got to talk about the booze. It was kind of like the cheering was for the sub. I kind of felt like, look, Manchester United fans, we're loyal. It's rare that you would see get into this decade. At first, Manchester United fans never booed. Now we boo. That's fair because things are bad.
We didn't boo a decade ago.
I don't think we booed. If you go back to it, it was like cheering for the sub. And yet, but if you took off Højlund or anyone else, for example, I think they would have cheered. It was that bad, right? So I think anyone getting a sub was going to get cheered there. And then when he was walking to the tunnel, I don't know if he was I was trying to listen to the recording. It wasn't booze, but still United fans should also be more aware of he's a young kid. It's early. It's not going well. Amorim clearly is frustrated with him. He probably deserved the sub. He's almost a passenger up there and isn't getting involved. Amorim's not putting him on the pitch to be as ineffective as he is. So clearly there's a disconnect there. It's not jiving for him. It's obviously sad, but he should not be targeted for booing. I don't know if I necessarily saw that, but he took it he looked like he was he went to the locker room, took it very personally. He's clearly cracked mentally. I think he's the fastest player we've ever broken.
New record.
It's a new record. We broke the guy.
And the sub had a huge impact. I mean, we played much better after that sub. I mean, we didn't play great. We didn't play well, but we played better than those opening 33 minutes. You feel bad for the kid, like you said. He's coming into a new league. Also, he was Ten Hag's boy. Ten Hag gets got. It's he's trying to find his feet. I feel for the lad. I don't like to see booing, but also I think it was a mix of boos. It wasn't a unanimous booing. It was kind of a patchwork of boos.
2 goals.
People are frustrated.
We're it's called we're 14th in the league. we're down 2 goals in 20 minutes and the manager makes a sub and the fans are going to react no matter who it is. That's more of what I felt than what
I agree.
Just specifically targeting Xerxes, but he did get it. But first half subs are reality. Sir Alex Ferguson did it. If you get subbed in the first half, it is horrifically embarrassing no matter what. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts around it. And like you said, it was warranted.
It was warranted because it changed the game and, helped United a lot, but you don't see him usually unless it's injury. Let's finish out this half. Højlund, right after this, had a great chance. Scuffs it wide. Should have made the most of it. Should have done better with that, sir. And the real chance in this half was the 47th minute. Casemiro misses a sitter after Newcastle gave the ball away on the edge of their own box. I mean, Kobe could have made the pass with a little bit more pace on it, but Casemiro should be doing better, should be hitting the target, because that would have been a great opportunity to get back in the game. And, in a game that probably should have been over, to be honest. It should have been over by the time that sub was made in the first place. Going into halftime, sir, what is Ruben Amorim saying to his batch of bluffers headed into the second half?
I mean, I would love to see the locker room camera. But look, we just needed to get the attacking juices going, and we had subs to do it.
We did have the subs to do it. Let's get through that second half. Much better. It was better in the second half from United. Not really much of a cutting edge. And one of the most frustrating things about watching this game was we lost, I feel like we lost every 50-50 in the midfield. They had so much size on us and physicality, which were lacking in this team, but they just wanted it more, which we've seen in the past of this team. So 60th minute, Maguire did hit the post from a corner. 65th minute, Euro and Garnacho came on from Martinez and Casemiro. 74th minute, Euro went close from a free kick. So our best chances in the second half were both from...
Very close.
It was a good chance as well. He looks good in the air. Anthony came on in the 83rd, and that was basically all she wrote. Manchester United, 0. Newcastle 2, sir. Another loss for United. These stats are brutal. 10 shots for United, 12 for Newcastle, 0 on target for United, 4 on target for Newcastle. We had slightly edged them in possession, 53%. They had 47%. We had more passes, but at the end of the day, it's goals. And they sit in 4th place. We're looking at the table now. Ooh-wee. We're in 14th place, like you said, 22 points.
Where's the drop?
7.
What do we got?
7 off the drop. 7 off Ipswich.
Yeah, no, we are in, just to give the current status, we are in do not get relegated territory.
We're on the edge of a relegation fight.
So, it's like this is a spite season. We are in the midst of a spite season, which is basically we brought in a hardo manager who's going to haze these players and break them like Xerxes and find out who can handle it. Because honestly, who can handle the fire? And that's what we're missing is nobody here. Nobody here has got the guts. Nobody here has got the guts to win 21. And we're learning that. Amorim's basically taking him to town.
This man has the guts. He's got it. Just give him time.
As long as we don't get relegated, he should run them into the ground and find out who's still walking. That's literally what we're doing. It's like civil war, internal fighting at United. He needs to find the dogs and see who's salvageable and sell the rest. That's literally what this is.
A lot of great clubs have had this moment where they've had to basically burn it all down and restart, and that's where we're at. So I'm 100% behind this man. I know you are as well. Let's hear from Ruben Amorim, sir. He must be frustrated. He's got to show up every day after these clowns make a fool of themselves. Let's hear from the manager.
There's a distinct possibility the club are in a relegation battle. Has that dawned on the players now that they're really going to have to be up for the fight?
Yeah, when you have these kind of moments, especially in the big clubs, it's really hard to turn things around, and especially when you don't have a lot of time to train the difficult moments. So we have to acknowledge our position, the way you see the league. Everybody can win everybody. So we have to win games and to focus on surviving.
Just on Joshua Xerxes when he came off, I know it was an unpleasant reaction for him to have. When he went into the tunnel, did someone have to go in there and bring him back out, or did he want to be in the dressing room?
He wanted to be, and then he returned in the second half. It was a very difficult moment, and he's a human being. But then he felt the support of the fans in the end, so everything is okay.
Andy.
Ooh, Ruben Amorim. I like him. I'll tell you what, I really like Ruben Amorim. He doesn't shy away from the fight. He knows where he's at. He's staring down the barrel of the gun. They are in a relegation fight, but at the same time, I like how he does enough to protect Xerxes in a tough moment who didn't have a great day. Because at the end of the day, it's he needs these players. We're either going to relegated, or we're going to fight for our life and make something in the season, or maybe what we make out of the season is just having this manager put a stamp on things. But either way, we're in a place where like we got nothing to lose. I'm not super concerned to get relegated. It's definitely a possibility. But I really wanted to see like who's willing to step up. No, it's not going to happen. Who's going to step up in the absence? It's like, all right, Ahmad, you're a real one.
We'll be in a fight. Like we're going to be in a fight.
It shouldn't be a fight.
No, we're going to be in a I think we're going to be in a fight.
I don't think so.
Like so here's the deal. You know,
Southampton are basically relegated. Southampton are basically already relegated. They're at 6 points. They're cooked.
Okay. Define Whelan and Dylan. Define fight. Relegation fight. Relegation fight is probably after Arsenal and Liverpool. We could get closer. If you're within 3 or 4 points of the drop, I would consider that a fight. You're in a fight for your life.
A fight goes down to the last couple of games. It goes down to the last couple of games of the EPL season.
No, but you could be in a fight. You could be in a fight during the game. Like, you know.
We're in a fight, bro. We're fighting for our life.
Like 4 points, you're in a fight. You're one like jab away from like getting down 1 point, you know? So it's like, we gotta watch our back. Just one quick point on the stat sheet. Do you have the Mark stat spot, sir?
I do. Let's get to that. Let's get to that right now.
So kind of reading looking at the advanced stats.
Yep.
There are some themes while that was absolute dog shit and the stat sheet does not really tell a positive story. You could look at this and say our defensive action height was higher than Newcastle's. So what we're trying to do is like push high up the pitch. And that is something we're learning to do. You could also look at the shape of United, and the back three with the wing backs actually looks pretty good against Newcastle. The main point from the advanced stats is that our X threat was as high as Newcastle, but our XG was not. And Newcastle was creating opportunities within the 6-yard box, and we have no teeth in attack. So at the end of the day, we are like balancing play better. Field tilt was actually pretty even. X threat was in line with Newcastle, but we have no teeth in attack. So while we are pushing high up the pitch and then giving an informed team opportunities, we are not creating anything. So the idea is like, why would you keep pushing up the pitch if your attack isn't scoring any goals? That's just what Amorim's going to do. So there is an idea and a style of play that is still here, but our attack is just ineffectual.
Great point, John. All like very good points. One other thing I want to add to it is like, look what happened after the 33rd minute when the sub was made. It's like they basically created no additional XG for the rest of the game. And that speaks to the manager's ability to affect the game in the moment in a way that we haven't seen from previous managers, certainly under Ten Hag. So he needs time, he needs players, he needs resources, and he needs time. But I'm glad we dove into the stats, sir. Let's get into the fan questions. Were they fired up? I haven't seen it yet. I'd be fired up, sir. Let's get into it.
By the way, the eye test was shitfootball.com, like going out of business sale, like selling everything, or like that was horrible football.
Those opening 30 minutes were as hard as I've seen. That was like I couldn't even believe it. They weren't even that good. They made us look like just a bunch of chumps. That's for you Newcastle fans if you're listening. At Armitage Daniel, how do we add width to this attack? I remember the old days when wingers would cross the ball. Don't need to look too far tonight to see how effective a cross can be. Yeah, good point. Literally all our wingers want to do is run the ball into the net, utterly raging tonight. Sir, when are we going to get some crosses?
The attack is so disjointed. This is the problem. Like if you look at the advanced stats, it's like we cannot create anything. When we should be passing it back and recycling possession, we're running forward and just losing the ball. When we should be crossing it, we're passing it back to recycle possession. It's just like there's no overlaps. There's no one's in sync. There's also been a lot of rotation, to be fair. It is a new system, so it is going to take time. But if he's rotating this much and it's not going well, once you start rotating like this, who knows if you're going to find something.
Who knows, sir? We better find it soon. At D_Cole18, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, Malacia, Delo, Evans, Casemiro, Eriksson, Mount, Bruno, Rashford, Anthony, Xerxes all need to go for either sales or swap deals ASAP. There is a mountain for any of us to climb in January. We are relegation bound, but have one of the highest wages in the league, sir. Are we getting relegated? I hope not. At Bryguy666, I don't want to overreact, but that looked insanely bad. Players literally looked lost out there, and like they have already given up on the manager. If new players don't come in this January, we are absolutely fucked, and we'll be fighting a relegation battle. Dark times, sir. Dark times. Dark times.
No, so the players have given up on the manager
already. Incredible.
Amorim is a type of guy that is going to ask everything and then some. And like some people don't want to be there. And guess what? These players are comfortable finishing 7th or 8th in the league. They don't want an intense manager who wants to try to win 21. So everyone's going to find out who those guys are. It's going to be a tough year. And then we're going to make some moves. Hopefully Ineos can wheel in deal in the summer or in January. But here's the problem. Rangnick made the same assessment and the Glazers didn't listen to him. Ineos will listen to Amorim if he can make it to the end of the season.
Jesus, if he can make it to the end of the season.
But Sir Jim's a nut, so I don't know.
Honestly, that's what I'm worried about is Sir Jim getting itchy.
There's no way he should be fired no matter what, short of getting relegated with United. But that won't happen. But you get what I'm trying to say. I don't think that should happen, but it could potentially happen given how Jim acts.
No, the thing I'm most concerned about is Jim getting being rash again and firing this manager who is the real deal. Anyway, let's end with you, Boaston. Better team won without having to work very hard. Our starting 11 had maybe one player who'd get into Newcastle starting 11, and options on the bench are extremely limited. $600 million down the drain. It's sunk cost, but I don't know how the club recovers anytime soon, sir. Ooh, the fans are mad. It might get worse before it gets better, but like you said, I'm all in. Ruben Amorim, rebuild. We are who our record are. We're in a mess. We're in a relegation fight. But at the same time, what do we got? We got to hang on with this manager. He's it. He's all we got. So weed out the bluffers. Let's promote the youth who are willing to step up and run through walls for him. And let's see where we are in the spring, sir. Because I have no idea. It could be even more of a fight, points off the bottom, or we could be in the Mickey Mouse Europe contest and trying to get into 8th and trying to get into the Conference League. So
no. We are. The word of the day is acceptance, and all the Manchester United fans need to accept that we are in a relegation battle, not necessarily a fight, but we are amongst the bottom. And the goal this season is to not get relegated, to weed out the bluffers, and keep Ruben Amorim. Those are the goals. And it's embarrassing to say that we've gotten this bad. But, sir, it always gets darkest before the dawn. We keep saying it. It keeps getting darker. So I hope the dawn is coming soon because, holy crap, we have a podcast and we're 14th in the league. I always felt bad for the lower level team podcast. I'm like, who would want to do a Southampton pod? That's got to be rough. You're just getting your shit kicked in every week. Now we're doing a Southampton podcast, basically. So, here we are. Look at us. Accept where we are. Accept the big L's that are coming. Get the hot sauce, get the salt, get the pepper, season them up, eat the L's. Let's go on to the next one. I can't wait to lose to Liverpool. Let's go.
I'm
hungry for those L's. Let's go.
We're taking it to Arnie Sloot. That's right. That's the right attitude, sir. Strap on, get ready for some shit football. And you know what? Brighter times are ahead. I just hope our benevolent owner our partial owner will give this Portuguese manager some time. He needs it, but either way, that's it, sir. That's the pod. We couldn't do it without the American Devil community. You guys keep the lights on. You are the real ones. Don't forget to like and subscribe our YouTube. Don't forget to check out our Patreon. Check out some merch. Check out the store. Everything you do goes right to the pod. For fans, by fans. It's a labor of love. We love this pod. We love this team, and we will be back. Top 10 cities, last 7 days, number 1. How you doing? Dublin, Ireland. Appreciate all the Irish Reds on the other side of the world. Houston, Texas, Los Angeles, California, Melbourne, Australia, Chicago, Illinois, New York, Brooklyn, New York, Charlotte, North Carolina, Manchester, England, and Queens, New York. Appreciate all American Devils listening week in, week out. Couldn't do it without you. Always darkest before the dawn. It's getting darker and darker, baby. The days are finally getting longer. It doesn't feel like that at Manchester United, but New Year is upon us.
Dukes. We got a relegation fight.
Let's go, baby. I haven't been in a relegation scrap since the 70s? Let's go. It's a throwback. It's a throwback.
Let's go.
We will be back either way. Sir, 20 times. We'll be singing this for a long time. Enjoy yourself. We'll talk to y'all next time.